After having read Law 2 of 48 Laws of Power, I've been convinced I had to finish this video. I think you need to compare yourself against someone that's better than you in different areas in life in which you want to improve. Yes, we've all heard that comparison is the thief of joy. However, I believe that it's also the teacher of skills. We all like to preach stoicism and harden ourselves and be like, oh, I handle negativity and I don't care about emotions. But then when you say you need to start comparing yourself, they are like, oh, you should not compare, it will make you unhappy. Hypocritical much? I think so. I think I can handle a little bit of negativity in my life. Without comparing your skills against someone else, my question is, how the fuck are you meant to improve on anything? You consistently compare your skill against that of someone superior to you, i.e. a coach, a teacher, whatever. And that's how you learn stuff, by sort of replicating what they're doing to what you are doing and figuring out what you're not doing. So that's how you learn, and that's essentially also how you can learn to respect these people. You can totally learn from someone that's better than you, but if you don't want to because it's a bad thing to compare, well, have fun staying behind. In my original video slash script, I wanted to name it You Need an Enemy, but I realized it's better to have someone that to not only compete with, but also compare yourself against. Without comparison, there's no drive for growth. Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy, whatever. I agree. But I think it's only once you've achieved a heightened state of being, either spiritual, mental, monetary, health-wise, etc. So yeah, once you're rich as fuck, get all the girls, and you're jacked as hell, it's rather useless to compare yourself to your rich, jacked friend, You're both the same thing. You're comparing useless things at that point. You will only spark jealousy within you. But right now, we aren't in that position, right? We are at the bottom of the ladder, and we have to climb all the way up. So in my opinion, it's a useful thing to do. We ain't rich, we ain't a playboy, we ain't jacked. We want to be, though. So in my opinion, you should start comparing so as to create emotion that will spark movement slash action. Quick example. It's something that you might have heard of from, a parent or teacher, but you're chilling with some 6 friends whom have 0 aspirations, 0 dreams, no drive, no concern for their health, absolutamente nada. And then there's you. You have all these dreams, all these goals, you're hitting the gym, you're being consistent, but eventually the group wins. Group mentality gets you, and you start being more like them. You start losing the drive, you stop pursuing your goals, you have become another loser. You keep comparing yourself to your friends and think it's cool to do nothing, smoke cigarettes, and make fun of rich people for being rich. So you adopt the same beliefs. You've become nihilistic, and life will be shit. If you don't change, of course. Until you meet someone that just fucks your worldview up so hard you don't know what to think. One day, you will meet a guy who dreams big, has all of these fucking aspirations and dreams, takes action, and takes care of himself. You can't help compare him to yourself and your friends. The juxtaposition makes you feel insecure, threatened, maybe even jealous. In my opinion, this is fucking great news. It means your brain is working properly and understands that even though maybe at the moment you and this guy are relatively in the same level in terms of money, status, health, he will outperform you if you don't get your shit together. Sometimes, for some people, competing with oneself is not enough. They need external motivation. I don't know if it's okay or not, people just need it. Comparison can and will wake you the fuck up to the fact that you're doing nothing with your life and others are getting and doing all of the things you want to do and have. The reason why we call comparison the thief of joy is because we compare shit we can't control instead of things we can control, i.e. stoicism. Yes, comparison is the thief of joy because it shows you what you could have if you just worked for it. Naturally, it has to be realistic. If you really wanted to have it, you should be able to have it, of course. Obviously, you can't have the same six-pack that someone else has, or their muscle insertions, or their genetical disposition, or whatever the fuck, or how they were born, or whether they had rich parents or not. You need to fucking have a good mindset about this. What you can control is how hard you train, how hard you work, and how fucking, I don't know, how much effort you put in, man. Come on. You just need to learn how to compare. For those who can't compare against themselves, Robert Greene recommends that sometimes you must keep an enemy as an enemy instead of turning him into a friend. It's a whole thing that he goes into his book, but essentially by turning friends, enemies into friends, they won't backstab you. Because I don't know. He goes deeper in the book, but essentially, you must keep an enemy as an enemy in order to remain mentally sharp, physically strong, and emotionally stable. You know where the threat is coming from, so you can be careful and study yourself and that of and your opponents as well, and figure out weak points on your side and try to fix them. Now, you may be pretty chilled out like me, and you are friendly with everybody. In that case, it's quite hard to actually go against your nature and depict friendly fellas as foes. To me, this is more of a strength than a weakness, because, come on, if you can work with everyone harmoniously, then why should you make enemies with just anyone? In this case, picking on someone or alienating someone just to compete seems rather redundant and could backfire. Unless, of course, it's a competition thing and you must actually face off like in a fight or wrestling or whatever. But having an enemy in real life is actually rather odd. This is where comparison is rather useful. Instead of relying on the animosity you create towards someone else, you can just start comparing yourself against the greats and imitating the greats. Or, naturally, you can just do what everyone else does and just compare you to your previous you, so the you of the past, and try to better yourself little by little each and every single day. This is advice that everyone's heard, and yeah, I get it, but it's what works, you know?